I stood in Grandma's empty living room, staring at the single wooden box on the kitchen counter. My sister Vanessa didn't even look at me when she said it. "I'm taking the jewelry, the china, the furniture, all of it. You can have that old recipe box if you want. Not like it's worth anything." I didn't know it then, but that box would change everything. My name is Maya. I'm 26 years old. I work as a junior baker at a small-town cafe, barely scraping by on rent each month. I'm not glamorous. I don't have the designer wardrobe or the corner office. But I had something Vanessa never bothered to build. I had memories. Every weekend growing up, I spent time with Grandma Rose. We'd bake together in her tiny kitchen that always smelled like cinnamon and butter. She taught me her recipes, told me stories about her own grandmother, let me lick the spoon when no one was watching. Vanessa? She only showed up when she needed something, a loan, a reference, a place to stay between apartments. But she was the successful one, marketing job in the city, designer clothes, the pride of the family. I thought love and time mattered more than money. I was wrong, at least to my family. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from. Because what happened next nearly broke me. The day after Grandma's funeral, everyone gathered at her house to divide her belongings. There was no formal will. Grandma had trusted us. Our mom had passed years ago, so it was just me and Vanessa as the grandkids. I arrived to find a U-Haul already parked in the driveway. Vanessa was inside, directing 2 movers like she owned the place. "Shouldn't we talk about this first?" I asked quietly. She barely glanced at me. "I'm the oldest. I'll make sure everything's handled fairly." Fairly? I watched her take the antique jewelry, Grandma's wedding ring, the fine china we'd used every Sunday, the vintage furniture that had been in our family for generations, the framed paintings from the hallway. I tried to speak up. "Vanessa, I think—" Aunt Carol cut me off. "Vanessa has the space and means to care for these properly. What would you do? Sell them?" The rest of the family nodded. Like I was some irresponsible child who couldn't be trusted with a coffee mug, let alone an heirloom. Vanessa picked up the old wooden recipe box from the counter, looked at it, set it back down. "Here," she said, pushing it toward me. "You like cooking, right? This is probably more your speed." My cousin laughed from across the room. "At least she can make cookies while Vanessa makes real money." I felt my face burn. I took the box, didn't say a word, just left. As I walked out the door, I heard Vanessa on her phone. "Yeah, I'll have the jewelry appraised Monday. This stuff could be worth thousands." I cried the whole drive home. 2 months passed. I was scrolling through social media when I saw the photos. Vanessa had, hosted Thanksgiving. The whole family was there, gathered around Grandma's dining table, using her fine china, smiling like a magazine spread. I wasn't invited. I texted her. "Was there Thanksgiving this year?" Hours later, she replied, "Oh, it was last minute. Figured you were busy with work." The comments under the photos made me sick. "So beautiful. Vanessa, you're honoring Rose's memory so well." I put my phone down and stared at the ceiling. 3 weeks later, I ran into Vanessa at a cousin's birthday party. She walked in wearing Grandma's vintage sapphire necklace, the one Grandma used to let me try on when I was little. Vanessa made sure everyone saw it. "This is a family heirloom," she announced. "Grandma always said it should go to someone who'd appreciate it." Aunt Carol nodded. "It's good Rose's treasures went to someone stable." I couldn't help myself. "Grandma told me once she wanted me to have that necklace." Vanessa laughed. Actually laughed. "She probably said that to make you feel special. She knew I'd actually take care of it." The room went silent. I excused myself to the bathroom and locked the door. That's when I heard two cousins talking in the hallway. Vanessa's kinda harsh, but she's right. Maya can barely take care of herself. I didn't come out until they left. Then, 3 months later, Vanessa called me. Her voice was warm, friendly, like nothing had happened. "Hey Maya, I need a favor. I'm hosting a client event this weekend and I'm swamped. Could you bake Grandma's cinnamon rolls? You're so good at that stuff." I should have said no, but I was desperate. Desperate for connection. Desperate to be needed. So I said yes. I spent hours in my tiny kitchen, mixing, kneading, baking. I delivered them to her apartment myself. She took the trays without even looking at me, handed me a $20 bill. "For your time." I wasn't invited inside, but as I walked away, I glanced through the window. Vanessa was presenting the cinnamon rolls to her clients, gesturing like she'd made them herself, talking about her family recipe. I sat in my car and cried until I couldn't breathe. That night, I opened the recipe box. I hadn't really looked at it since the funeral. It hurt too much. But that night, I read every single page. It wasn't just recipes. It was Grandma's handwriting, her notes, her thoughts. For Maya, the only one who listened. And then I found it, tucked in the back. A letter, addressed to me, dated 1 week before she died. "Maya, my sweet girl, I'm leaving you the only thing that truly matters, not what I owned, but what I created. These recipes are yours. Build something beautiful. They're worth more than any jewelry." There was also a business card, faded, a culinary historian named Ms. Delane. A note beneath it, "She can help you protect these." What they didn't know was that Grandma hadn't left me scraps. She'd left me a legacy. I started testing the recipes at work during my downtime. My boss, James, noticed immediately. "What is this?" he asked, biting into one of Grandma's honey lavender scones. "Maya, this is incredible." A regular customer, a food blogger, tried one the next day. She asked if she could feature it online. I said yes. I called Ms. Delane the following week. She remembered Grandma Rose. They'd talked years ago about preserving her recipes. "Your grandmother's recipes are original heritage formulas," Ms. Delane explained. "Documented correctly, they're intellectual property. You could trademark them, publish them, even build a business." She offered to help me. James offered me shelf space at the cafe. "Let's test a small product line, see what happens." I called it Rose's Legacy. The first batch sold out in 2 hours. The food blogger's post went semi-viral locally. Orders started coming in online. I worked late every night, saved every dollar, kept everything off social media. I didn't want my family to know yet. Meanwhile, Vanessa's status kept rising. She posted photos of Grandma's things constantly. More heirloom, more legacy. She sold some of the furniture at consignment, bragged about the money in the family group chat. Aunt Carol replied, "So smart, Vanessa. Rose would be proud you're not letting things collect dust." Then Vanessa called me again. "Do you still have that old recipe box?" I froze. "Why?" "A designer friend wants to use vintage kitchen items for a photo shoot. She's offering $200. It's not for sale." "It's a box of paper, Maya. Don't be sentimental." I hung up. That's when I knew. I was done being invisible. 6 months later, I'd partnered with 3 local cafes. I had an online shop. I'd trademarked Rose's Legacy and was in talks with a regional distributor. I'd made more from Grandma's recipes than Vanessa had made selling all her furniture. Then Vanessa found out. A cousin saw my products in a coffee shop. Vanessa showed up at my apartment unannounced. She didn't knock. She pounded. "You're using Grandma's name to sell stuff?" she shouted the second I opened the door. "That's our family legacy." I stayed calm. "No, it's mine. Grandma left me the recipes. You made it very clear you didn't want them. Those recipes belong to the whole family. I pulled out the letter, handed it to her. She read it. Her face went pale. This doesn't mean you can profit off her. I'm her eldest grandchild. I should have been consulted. I met her eyes. You took everything else. The jewelry, the furniture, the dishes. You didn't ask me. You didn't even invite me to Thanksgiving. That was different. No, it wasn't. You decided I didn't deserve anything. So I built something from what you called worthless. I showed her the paperwork. Trademark filings, partnership agreements, product licenses. I've made more in 6 months than you made selling Grandma's furniture. Vanessa stared at the documents. I didn't know. I thought it was just old recipes. You didn't know because you never cared. You wanted things you could show off. Grandma gave me something I could grow. She tried to recover. Maybe we could work together? I could help with marketing. I don't need your help. I never did. I picked up a framed photo from my counter. Me and Grandma. Age 8, covered in flour. Laughing. Beneath it, Grandma's handwriting. To Maya, my little baker. You have the heart I always hoped to pass on. Vanessa stared at it. She had no photos like that. You got her things, Vanessa, I said quietly. I got her heart. And that's worth more than anything you took. She left without another word. I heard through the family grapevine that Vanessa tried to claim she'd inspired my business. No one cared. Aunt Carol called me a few weeks later, suddenly interested, asked for free products. I politely declined. A few cousins reached out, genuinely proud. I kept my distance, but stayed cordial. Vanessa never apologized, but I didn't need it anymore. I expanded Rose's legacy, opened a small pop-up bakery on weekends, framed Grandma's original recipes on the wall, shared the story with every customer who asked. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. I finally understood I didn't need their approval. Grandma had already given me hers. I wear a simple locket now. Inside is a tiny photo of me and Grandma. It's the only inheritance I ever needed. If you've ever had to stand up to family betrayal, hit subscribe and tell me your story. Have you ever been underestimated by the people who were supposed to love you? Drop a comment. I read every single one. Where are you watching from? Let me know below. Your story matters, and I want to hear it. Thanks for listening to mine. Sometimes the things people overlook are the things that change everything. Don't forget to like this video if it meant something to you. See you in the next one.